All right, it's 12 o'clock on the dot, Rachel. Gonna let you kick it off and then I'll chime in.
All right. Um, First of all, welcome. Thank you so much for attending today. We very much appreciate it. Um, I just want to introduce myself and who I am because I am a new face. I'm sure some of you have been here before and some of you have not been. So I thank you for joining us today and this afternoon. I would say warm and sunny, but unfortunately, if you are in Buffalo, that is just not the case. So I'll just say on this afternoon. My name is Rachel Terapecki. I am the new executive director of Be Your Own Hero, and I mean new as of February 19th. So that is new. Um, Not-for-profits are not new to me. This is my 16th year in this realm. Education This is my 25th year. It is my heart and soul, my passion. This is something I've done for a very long time. I have been doing everything kids from pre-K all the way up through college prep. So when this position became available, it just seemed like it was the next step. So it has been everything that I've done, just having kids make it make sense for what their next step is to help guide them. They don't know what they don't know. And I've always prided myself on doing that for them or helping guide them along. So I am grateful that all of you are here today to help me help them do that. So when I saw this position and everything that this organization does, it just made sense for this to be my next step and for this organization to pick me to be the person to do that. So again, thank you for being here today and thank you for supporting us in this mission and these goals for this organization to help these kids because these kids are our future, all of us. So thank you for that.
Excellent. I'm going to echo you, Rachel. I would like to thank all the sponsors who are new to us and reoccurring sponsors that have supported and giving us the opportunity to provide students with real world career exposures. So this fundraiser for Be Your Own Hero allows us to um, bring programming into high schools. Eventually, someday, maybe even colleges, to connect education to the future of work. So having this real life exposure, meaningful employer connections have really served itself well. I believe we're on our seventh or eighth annual, and the career fair moved to career fair to a career experience and expo event, because we have been, as a founder of Be Your Own Hero, my name is Jean Filipiak, and by day I work for APA Solutions, and we work in the employment world when it comes to recruitment, retention, and employee development. So when Be Your Own Hero was founded, it was because adults were coming to us and saying, "Hey, can you help our young adults formulate a career path for themselves so they can have a purpose as they go into the employment sector?" And our methodology proves to really take the natural tendencies of an individual and align it with occupations that are best suited for them. So if they're moving into the trade section, if they're going into healthcare, manufacturing, construction, we help them now through Be Your Own Hero develop that career pathway so they can make very good decisions. But then also the experience piece comes into play because as we coach them, our team coaches them. We really want to give them, to me, the Ninas and Angela, who I can see on my screen right now, the opportunity to engage with these students so they can say, "Hey, I want to work for those specific companies." So we do have services that go into high school. We bring, last year when Sarah, who was the previous executive director, she spent the good year of creating mini series, either virtually or doing roundtables between educators and employers. With Rachel at the helm, we're really using this opportunity and the funds we receive from you to continue on that mission and really need your help and support to say, what are you looking for to see in these young adults, so then we can make sure that we recreate our programming, with Rachel's programming overall, doing after school events, in school events. She's really going to bring a nice spin to how we can bridge the experience even more effectively to the young adults. So I'll pause there because I feel like it's more about our participants. I'd love in the chat to kind of if you can put in the chat room, why you showed up today and what you're hoping to get out of this employer prep, because we want to make sure that we hone in and hit those points as we go through our agenda. So go ahead in the chat and just write some information of what you'd like to gain from this employer prep session. And then I'll turn it over to Rachel as I monitor what's in the chat.
Okay, so while you guys are putting your information in there, I'm going to go over the event overview, just mindful of time. If you have any questions, please stop me. If I'm speaking too fast, as I've been known to do, please stop me, tell me to slow down. You were given this information, but I just want to kind of reiterate everything. I know it's a lot, so it's better, sometimes if someone says it to you, this education background, I see it, show it, say it, make sure that it really gets in there. So we are meeting together on March 31st. It is at Riverworks, 359 Ganson Street in Buffalo. Our times, if you have done this before, is a little bit earlier this year. So on the school side, Caitlin Mattice, she has a big chunk of kids that are coming from 5 different schools. So they're coming from Maryvale, Depew, Hamburg, Orchard Park, Clarence, and Lakeshore. And it's called, there are academy students. So we just lump them into this big group. You'll see them in our list of schools under the Clarence Academy. That's who that is comprised of, is those 5 schools. I'm sorry, 6 schools. They're called Clarence. So then there's 5 schools under Clarence. So that's 6 schools in total. They're bringing around between 170 and 190 students in that morning block. They're going to be there as early as 7:30, but we all know kids, especially teenagers in the morning, if any of you have them, we have been them. They're a little slow in the morning. So we're hoping for a little bit of a slow rollout. So we are hoping that you guys get there between 7:30 and 8. They are planning on coming at 7:30. So we're hoping to be set up and ready to go by that time. They do have a speaker at that time. Jean left me. Hold on, let me get my PowerPoint back up. They do have a speaker in the morning, so there will be someone in there speaking to them about, he's from Witham, he's going to be speaking to our afternoon kids also. So they will be there in the morning. Hold on one second, let me just get that PowerPoint back up. But we do ask that you are there a little bit earlier just to be ready to go so that they have their chaperones can take them around to see everybody's stuff. So that is a little bit different. That's a little bit earlier than it was last year. Again, we understand stuff happens. I'm just going to share my screen. All right. You guys good to see that? Thumbs up. Fantastic. All right. So that, okay. Speaker series. So we do have 6 speakers on the helm. We are still waiting back to hear from our Army National Guard. So we technically have 1 slot open. If that is something that you guys feel like you really want to do, if you want to talk to these kids for a half hour, please feel free. Send me a little blurb, send me something that you want to talk about. We try to get different people from all over. I do have 3 asks out right now. I'm just waiting to hear back from them. One is from ECMC, one is from Women in Construction. They are 2 really strong, powerful women. But again, trying to track them down is like trying to find the Easter Bunny. We're still waiting to hear back from them. So I don't like waiting to the last minute. We do need to get this information out to the schools. So if you are somebody that would like to take up those 30 minutes to speak to our kids, we're not making them do it. We all know how teenagers do when you make them do something. So we're kind of leaving it as an open. The speakers are upstairs. If you've been at Riverworks, it's upstairs by kind of where the second bar area is. There's a platform. So our speakers are going to be up there. So they will be in this little area. They can come in, sit down. It's seated for 75 people. They are open. So they're going to be slotted. They're going to know who they are if it's something they're interested in. I don't want to make a child sit there and stare at me if they're not interested in something I'm talking about. It's exhausting for everyone. they're going to know who they are, they're going to know what they're talking about, and they're going to know whether they're going to want to go or not. It's uncomfortable for us, it's uncomfortable for them. I don't want to do that to them. I don't want to do that to you either. So if you feel like you want to take that 30 minutes, please let me know if it's something that we feel is relevant and that the kids are really going to be interested in it. Let me know and we can fit you in there. So that is for our speaker series. These are who we have right now. Todd is very beneficial because he actually was a be your own hero person. He came through, was like, I really want to be an architect, and his aunt, who's actually on the board, was like, no, yes, you're good at that, but no, you're not good at sitting. Why don't you try this? And he is the head architect for the new Bill Stadium. So the kids are going to hear that and be like, you were one of these people, and now you did this, and someone told you to, go in a different direction, and now you're here. So he's kind of like a live it, learn it person. So he really does make sense for that, but we can also kick him out of there. He doesn't care if he talks or not. So if there's, like I said, a 30-minute slot or something that you feel that you need to, please feel free. These are our schools. These are everybody. They're finally confirmed as of yesterday. So we are good to go. There is, as of right now, over 1,300 kids. So that is a lot of, as I call them, tall children, going to be walking through here, and they're going to be very interested. But again, we need them engaged, because if anybody knows anything about this age, they think they know everything, and it is very early in the morning. But again, they are starting at 7:30, and they're going to come all the way through the afternoon. So they might be a little bit more awake, especially after lunch. So these are all the different schools that are coming through, that will come through and peek through. So if there's any targeted school or anybody that you think makes sense for your agency or for your employment or for what you are offering, please let us know. We can kind of, let you know when they're coming through. Keep an eye out for them. These are the employers that are coming through. We're still adding on some every day. If there's anybody that you feel in your field, or someone that you feel that would be benefit, or we would benefit from you, please let us know. We will take people up until the last day. We can fit in those logos real quick. I do it, so I can throw them in there ASAP. There is a link that everyone has gotten. If you have not, I can share it out. But again, if you do feel like there is somebody that would benefit from this, or you're like, oh, there's Johnny over here, and I don't even think he knows about this, please feel free to share that link. We are still taking employers. And again, this is our biggest fundraiser. This does help us throughout the year. It helps me get in the schools. It helps me really get that outreach for what we need to do to make sure that these kids know what their next steps should be or could be. This is the setup. So we are trying to keep everybody on that first floor. Obviously, if we can't fit, we can't fit. We don't want people sitting on top of each other. That's uncomfortable for everyone. So we do have the lunches are separate. They're in a completely separate area with doors shut, which is grateful for everyone, because if you know children, you know how loud they can be, especially when they're eating. I don't know how that happens, but you're eating and you're loud at the same time. But they are in a separate area this year. So that and the raffles are all kind of in the similar area. So all the loudness is together. And then everything else is kind of separate. So we're trying to keep everybody downstairs. If we do have some stragglers upstairs, you will get traffic, because the kids have to be upstairs because they have to go up there to eat. And there's not a teenager that's going to say no to food. So you will get traffic. It's the way it's set up. You can't not. You will have children walking by, teenagers walking by young people walking by your tables. So once we get everyone finalized within the week, Todd and I are going to sit down and go through this, put you where you make sense. So you will get a table number, you will know where you are. You will get that notification. You'll get a folder when you register. It'll have where you are. Everything will be color coordinated, and you will know where your table is, where your setup is. If you have anything that you need specifically, it is on that employer registration link that I had sent for you. But if there's something you think of after the fact, like, oh, I forgot I'm bringing this, or oh, I need this, please let me know. I want to accommodate you as best as possible. And the earlier, the better. Telling me at 7:30 on the 31st, my head might pop off. So I really, really want to accommodate you as best as possible. So please let me know as soon as you need something, and so that I can do that for you. But this is the setup of what it looks like upstairs, downstairs. And we are not ice skating, so don't bring your skates. This is the outside, if you've not been at Riverworks, where the buses park, where you guys can park, and then the actual building itself. Their parking is actually pretty decent. I don't mind going there. I am a big proponent of not going downtown because the parking scares me. In the one-way streets. I'm born and raised here, but for some reason I still can't get it together. But I do like Riverworks parking. I'm a proponent of that. So this is what it looks like for parking if you have not been here. So you know where to go, where not to go. I would highly suggest not going by the buses. There's a big yellow thing. Stay away from them. No one wants to deal with that. So that you guys can park right in here, and it's closer to the entrance. So you can walk. I'm hoping for some nice weather. Mother Nature has not, I don't know what she's doing, but I think it was that rodent. I'm not sure. But we're hoping for some nice weather so that the parking is here regardless. It's closer to the door for you guys. Jean, if you want to take over for the.
Yeah, I came back.
Hi, welcome
Sorry about that, everybody. My computer, I taught this morning, so my computer wasn't charged. So that was my bad, and I do apologize. But thank you for letting me come here. There is some momentum in the chat room that will hit everyone's questions. I think it makes more sense, Rachel, don't you think? Like towards the end to make sure that we hit their points. Does that
Yep,
sound good?
absolutely.
Or did you answer some of the questions while you were
I did
going
not.
through?
I had to get to share the PowerPoint so I couldn't see them.
Yeah, perfect. Okay. So I'll go through why the role matters and then we'll circle back to all the great questions. And then I'm also going to want to go back to the layout and educate the employers of like where you're going to find your coffee, where the bathrooms are, and all those things that you can see at least from a visual map before you hit us on the 31st or even the 30th. So why your role matters, it's very important as you are making an investment to the next generation. And your present truly helps bridge the gap between the education that they're learning in high school and then what they could be experiencing in the workforce and what the workforce needs. So, year after year, we've been getting feedback from employers saying that this year these students were even better than last year. And we are truly hoping that is the case this year as well. The teachers do a very good job. Caitlin Mattice is the teacher coordinator, and she sends a toolkit very similar to your toolkit to give to the students to get them prepared to come into this event. And we're actually raffling off prizes to get them engaged to your booths. But we will need your help to act as those ambassadors to really engage with them and draw questions from these students to share a little bit about your career story, share a little bit about your company, the potential entry level positions that you may have available. We've had employers, set up their booths where they have job applications right on site, a sign-in sheet right on site, and then maybe even some job descriptions that you want to make them aware of. Whatever you can do to bring your booth to life. This is not a typical career fair. We even have employers come outside of the table because having that impact with that student is extremely, extremely important. You want to look like, what does your typical day look like? Get them to ask questions or just share what your typical day looks like. Kind of share what skills or degrees that are needed to work at your organization. And then from there, how can they get started? And then what advice would you give to them that they're probably majority of them are juniors and seniors coming to this event. So they will be 18 or they are already 18 and they may be able to hit the ground running with any of the opportunities that you may have available. But more importantly, it's all about talent brand. Employees, be it a young adult or an experienced adult, having a talent brand is so important to employers today because it is what a job seeker such as these students think and feel and say about your organization. So the more you can bring that talent brand to life, the more successful you're going to have being a brand ambassador for your company and then in turn for the students at the event. So I'll pause there because that's why your role matters because you truly are the link to the next generation. Next slide. So how to prepare for the event. I'm sure you guys are already thinking about it, but here's just a quick checklist. Make sure you have to bring your own linens, if you will, tablecloth. We will have the table and we will have two chairs. We will have two bottles of water and some light snacks. We will also, when you look at the table, we go back to the map, there's a stage at Riverworks, and that stage is where Employer Coffee and Water will be. But we'll also have like chocolates and lovely stuff like that that you can kind of walk from your booth as a tag team with your partner if you have two people there to use the restrooms, etc. I already talked about engaging with the students. Bring whatever you need to bring from materials, collateral. I know Brody asked, can we still bring our dump truck to showcase outside? Absolutely. The more visuals individuals can have to see and showcase your name, we would love it. Rachel later on in the presentation will share like where those trucks or equipment or XYZ can be to share for an observation standpoint. The students won't go in the truck or be near the truck except for like walking by it. Key topics to cover, I already shared that with you. And a lot of the common questions that the students are prepared for is somewhat what I just shared with you is like, what can I do? How can I work for you? What jobs do you have? They're going to be really basic questions, not elevated questions like you may see in more of an experience, career fair experience. So just be mindful of that. Next slide. All right, this is you, Rachel.
So, like I said before, we do have those early birds coming, those academy kids. So, if you can be there around 7, we would really appreciate it just to kind of help the flow go easier. Um, Event in key timings, like we said before, 7:30 to 12 is our high school students. We do have lingerers. Some of our kids aren't leaving until around 2. Alden comes in, they do both. So they're both students and organization. They do all the manufacturing. So they actually make things. It's pretty cute. I love them. They are getting ahead on that manufacturing side of life. So they come as both students and an organization, a business. So they'll be there all day. Like I said, if you would like how long and who is going to be there, we can give that to you once that schedule is set. Caitlin and I are working on that. It should be done by the end of the week, tomorrow actually. So they will be there 7:30 to 12, but again, some of our stragglers are going to be there a little bit later, 1:30, 2 o'clock. They really are using it as a day off, a day out of school. I don't blame them. So 12 to 2 are life job seekers. So those are young adults, college students, people in the arena of life. We are setting this out to everyone. So it does make sense if you are willing to share it to everyone in your realm on social media, anybody in your life, anybody that makes sense for you, because the more people, the more um, media, the more spotlight that this event gets, the more people that come through, the more chances that you do have at interns and hiring and people that will walk through and see what is out there that makes sense for them for their organizations. So these aren't just high school students, these are people that may be looking for that next step, maybe looking for a career, maybe looking for the apprenticeship, maybe looking for that general contracting position. Something, the more business, the more out there, the more reach that it gets, the more people that we reach, the more people that come through. So we are doing that on our end. We are doing that in all of our social media, both personal and professional. So we do ask that you do the same because, like, again, the more people that it reaches, the better chances that you guys have of that traffic. So we do ask that you stay until 2 o'clock. Our teardown is from 2 to 3. All of the people that are willing to help you are in green t-shirts. So if you need anybody, please let us know. All of our volunteers are in green t-shirts. And we do ask that if you do know anybody, a lot of our kids need volunteer hours. I know it's during the school day, but some organizations, I know a lot of the banks offer that option of volunteering during their workday instead of working. If you know anybody that would like to volunteer for this event, we're always looking for volunteers. Please let us know. There is a volunteer registration link also. Our information booth, kind of like our command center, will be on that stage where the coffee and water is. So please feel free to reach out up there to any of us. We have our board members. I will be running around. Anybody in a green t-shirt, flag us down. As we spoke before, the company vehicles are there. So, right, I'm not sure if you know how Riverworks is. There's the big Ferris wheel. So in that front roundabout is where you can put them. So the vehicles and anything that you would like. Again, I do need to know up front so that we can kind of place them appropriately and make sure the size fits so that I can bring that back to them. But it's going to be almost like an art show, right? So a lot of kids, they don't know what they don't know. Might not know what a dump truck is. They might not know what a pump is. They might not know what any of these things that you take for granted because you see them every single day. It's part of your everyday life. But they see it and they're like, what? What does it do? It might be that, just that spark that they need to see it. So again, like an art show to see that like, oh, I could drive one of those. I could work one of those. Like that could be part of my job. So we do appreciate if you bring that stuff that you might take that day to day for granted for because it's just another tool in your toolbox that might be something that a kid sees for the first time that really just sparks that in them like, that could be for me. So we can have up to 9 vehicles as long as, like I said, they're not too big. Let me know logistics so I could just run it by Riverworks to make sure how they get set up. Again, like an art show. Any questions about any of that I just went over?
I'm back if that matters. My goodness.
Oh, you're frozen again. You were talking. We heard you talking. Your face was just frozen, so I just let it go.
Really? Oh,
Yeah,
you
I
probably
heard
heard
you.
me swear then.
No, I didn't hear you
Sorry,
swear.
employers.
No, we didn't hear you
Okay,
swear.
good.
You all
Good.
your good words came out. I didn't hear any bad
All
words.
right, good.
Your face was just frozen, so I just let it go because you did everything you're supposed to. So it was
Yeah,
cool.
my computer completely froze. That
No,
I
you're
can't
good.
blame on the battery. It just completely froze.
Oh, you were talking just fine. Minus, we didn't hear any swear words. You're good.
Okay,
Um,
so can I just talk a little bit about, oh, this is
I have
never
one
mind.
question. I'm sorry.
Yep.
Just to clarify, on the earlier slide, you said, Rachel, that there was a setup option the day before,
Yes, 4 to 7. Yeah,
4 to 7. Okay, thank you.
of course.
And actually, we prefer that just because of how early these academy students are coming this year. When Rachel said that they'll be there at 7:30, that's an accurate statement, but they're going to have their public speaker there probably up until like 10 to 8. But try to have your booth set up by 7:30 a.m. or the night before. Thanks, Jared. Any other good questions?
Put a question in the chat. Are you guys going to look at those and go over those at the end?
Mhm.
Yes.
Well, hello, I have a quick question. What time can we get into setup on Monday?
4 p.m. We'll be there 4 to 7. Anybody else? Okay, go ahead, Jean.
Okay. So the public job seeker portion of this event has been something that's been near and dear to my heart to open up the event to the public from 12 to 2. And every year it grows just a little bit more. Based on the activity that you see in the morning, the 12 to 2 time slot can be a slot where you're just like, I don't think there's anyone else coming. But we are asking you to stay to the end of the event, which is 2 o'clock, and tear down after 2 o'clock. Be Your Own Hero is advertising in Western New York jobs to kind of get those young adult seekers that maybe are out of school, as well as experienced people. We are opening it up to the public from that timeline of 12 to 2. And then we're also sharing it on social media. What would be great is if you had a database and you were looking for letting your database of job seekers know that you're going to be there and have an open house per se and come see your booth. And if you can spread it out to your audience, that would be very helpful to bring the census up from that 12 to 2 timeline. So please share your event. And we're hoping that, we don't know how many people yet. The amount is growing, but last year we had like 100. We're hoping for more, but right now we will probably sit at that if we don't do like a all hands on deck and advertising this event from 12 to 2. We've only been doing it for 3 years, so a lot may predicate on the awareness aspect. Elizabeth has a question. By sharing the job seeker portion from 12 to 2 on social media, will you have separate flyer for that? We do already have a separate flyer for that. We'll have Rachel send that along after this presentation, and it's just a QR code in which the job seeker can register. And if you don't feel like waiting for Rachel to do it, definitely go on Western New York Jobs, and they're online. Our ad is up there as well. Before we move on, Rachel, I'm going to answer Rusty's questions. He's looking to know if, with the students coming in, will they have name tags? And I love this idea because I don't think we have them tell them what they're interested in, but put their name tag and are they interested in HR, safety, diesel tech, equipment operator on their name tag. In the past, we just had name tags with their names on it, but nothing related to what their interests are. So that might be something that we should bring to the board because I like that idea.
Okay.
Well,
So yes, Rusty, there will be name tags.
it'll help the people, the attendees know when a student is walking by, whether they should try and reach out and talk to them. Because trust me, there's going to be a lot of students that are going to walk by your table and you're not going to know what their interest is. So if they had something that tells us what their interest is, then we can make sure that we try to reach out and talk to those folks. I do a lot of career fairs, so I've seen it all.
Love it.
That's a great idea.
So if there are any questions about the public job fair section?
Are you expecting any more schools after 12 o'clock
No.
or just public? Just public.
That's why we were able to open up to the public because all the schools would be gone. They would have eaten lunch and they're on their way to get to their prospective schools. But you just made me think of something else. Oh, all the students are going to be required to keep their backpacks on the bus or at school. They will have a Be Your Own Hero sling bag that they'll be able to use to put information in as they walk around. And as you guys build your booths, anything you can take back to your car and not leave hanging in the table area would be very helpful. And if you have a purse, something that you want locked up, I'd also keep that in your car, just to kind of keep your possessions safe. So here are some final tips and best practices. Be engaging and encouraging. Share your story. Stay minded, because these students are going to be coming from a diverse backgrounds, anywhere from the rural community, the city, the suburbs. There are some individuals that are coming from work shares. So just keep an open mind and bring your best self forward and your company's image forward. And I think there'll be so much fun. Like we always walk out of this event being like, that was amazing. And I hope, and anyone that is on this call that has attended last year, feel free to unmute and give your helpful hints. I know Brody's on here too. So Angela, I know you were here last year. Any words of wisdom you like to share to the other employers on the meeting?
It's a really good event. Just make sure you bring, like, I would say one person with you is great, but like two is better just because the crowds come in waves. So you don't want to lose engagement just because you're already talking to someone else.
Yeah, that's a great thought. And two comes with your sponsorship, and lunch is provided. So make sure you fill out your lunch sheets for Rachel so we know what you're going to get and the volunteers can bring them to your table. So thanks, Angela. That was a good point. What's the
Hello,
next slide?
hello.
Oh,
This is
sorry, go ahead.
Ramonda. I have my hand up. I think you probably may have not been able to see it due to limited view, but I wanted to ask the question. I'm with Chase Bank. I wanted to ask the question. Now, are we expected to just only um, have hiring opportunities? Because obviously, with my company, we can't partner with anyone under the legal age of 18. But I know you're anticipating, community youth coming to this event that are non-affiliated with a school at this point. It sounds like this is my first time attending, and I'm putting that disclaimer out there. But what I wanted to know, so it's just solely about jobs, or are we telling people about our role, or could we just also bring information like, I was intending on bringing like financial education tools, tips, and strategies for our youth. So is that frowned upon, or is it just exclusively to jobs? I guess I'm just trying to get additional clarification.
You
Yeah,
want to
that's
take
why
that, Rachel?
of course, yes. So thank you so much for bringing that up. So I am huge on you don't know what you don't know, right? So for me, it's all about education. If for you to tell somebody what you do as a job, so for an example, the one woman, Jeanette, she is from Crayer Eggs. When we spoke to her, she told us that there are 42 different positions and jobs on a farm. I thought a farmer was a farmer, right? How ignorant am I? I had no idea. When she said that there are 42 different jobs on a farm, I was like, get out of here. So for you to come in to tell these kids, like, you can do this, there's this part of banking, there's this part of financial literacy, there's this part, this is what a credit score is. Yes, please, because they don't know, because no one ever told them that, right? So to say all of that, to say, tell them all the things, everything,
Yeah,
everything you got,
I
tell them.
yeah, I would agree with you, Rachel. It's not about filling a position at this event. It's really
That's why
all
it's an
about
experience,
the
not a
career
thing,
experience.
right?
So that's a great question. Did we answer your
Thank you
question?
so much. You did answer it. I appreciate it. That'll help me
Okay,
prepare my team. Thank you.
Yes,
you
but
bet.
for anybody who also needs to fill a position, right? Like it also explains it's like a two-sided coin, right? So like I need to fill this position, I need to fill this apprenticeship, but I can't do that unless these kids know what it is. It's a double-sided thing, right? Like I want to teach them what it is because someday I might need to fill that. I might have all these baby boomers or these people that are flipping over or that are retiring or that don't want to be in the field anymore, but I don't have anybody that's prepared for this. How do I get this next generation who these techie kids to be like, I want to do that?
Hmm.
They don't know, right? Like, so
Yeah,
that's what this is all about, is teaching them what is out there, what makes sense for them, their strengths, their weaknesses. This isn't that career aptitude test that we took back in the day that was like you could be a janitor, a teacher, a garbage man, or yeah, a plumber, right? Like there's so many more things out there with technology, but these kids, if you don't have somebody sitting down telling you this is what this is, you don't know. It's not like if you don't even know what to look up on your phone, you're not looking it up. So
yeah,
yes, all the information, give them all of the tools. They're going to take what they want, but give them all the tools.
agreed. And I see Dana has her their hand up. If you want to go ahead and chit chat, go ahead.
Yes, good afternoon. My name is Dana Schultz, and I am the career transition and the outreach manager at Job Corps. I've been part of Job Corps for it'll be 29 years in July, and we have every year attended the Be Your Own Hero, and it's probably our largest scale event that's specifically targeted for the student population that we're looking for. And we're kind of both ends of the spectrum. We also are bringing 33 of our students there to go along and to meet the employers. And some of them that are near completion will be bringing their portfolio with them and hopefully have opportunities to, maybe fill out an application and sell themselves at the event. I did put in the chat that if there is a space available, I certainly can have one of my staff be a speaker in that forum because I will have several staff on site. As was mentioned before, I mean, kids are going to be grouped together, whether it's a group of 3 or a group of 10, from a school. It's good to have multiple people there to, especially if you're, trying, like, we're selling, a training program. So, I've got, I'll probably have 5 staff, around our table that's going to be prepared to meet with groups of students there. So I'm excited. You know, we pump this up with our students all the time, and I'm actually going to see if I can get the Iroquois Job Corps Center representative there too, because our recruitment zones are different. My center, we recruit from Erie County, Cattaraugus, Chautauqua, and Erie, and Iroquois does Niagara County. So if there are students, you know, or schools that are from the Niagara County area, we can refer them over to her, or I can at least get her business cards and be able to direct them to her directly. So I'm looking forward to it. And are you going to be sending out? I do have the packet that was sent out here a while back, but if you can send like the information for parking so that I can give it to the bus drivers so they know where to park, that'd be great.
Yep, that'll come from Caitlin for the school on the school side.
Perfect. Thank you.
Yeah.
Do we not hit any questions in the chat just for technology reasons? Is there any questions? Feel free to unmute or re-put it in the chat if we didn't hit your question.
I think I can see how.
Rachel, do you want to go back to the layout?
Yep. Here's the number. We're gonna share this on.
Oh, sorry. Yep.
No, you're okay. We're gonna share this on end of recording so that you guys can have, if you have any other questions, so that you have all this information. This is not letting me go back. Okay. You want to go back to the layout, the inside layout or outside layout?
Let's do outside layout first, and then you can kind of share them where the trucks would go.
Sorry, the screens are like on top of each other. Okay, so the entrance is here.
Yep. So if you've been to Riverworks, right in front of the main entrance, there's almost like a roundabout driveway-like area. That's where we would put those equipments and or trucks. So I just want to kind of highlight that. So thank you, Rachel.
Yep. Any other questions, comments, concerns? Thank you to everybody who has filled out your form. It is your food, so please do it.
Yeah.
I have to.
And with volunteers, we like to have 50. 50 seems to be our magic number, and we're up to 25. So if there are any friends, family, employees that have the ability to volunteer, please, please, please forward them to us. We have our volunteers cover for the employer relations side, but we do need some more traffic controllers when it comes to the upstairs lunch for the students, speaker monitors, and then probably one or two for registration for sure. So just wanted to let you know that we have those volunteer spots available, and we would love it if you can spread the word. We have a separate link for that where people can sign up. We do feed our volunteers, especially if you're there all day. When you come in as employers and you're setting up either Monday night or the morning of, those volunteers will be like your liaison, and we'll kind of repeat everything you just heard to make sure you know where the bathrooms are, make sure you know where the coffee is, and to make sure you know where your table is. So we will have escorts for you to make sure you know where you're going. Questions, comments, concerns?
All right, that's it from me. Thank you so much. I appreciate every single one of you for going through this. And again, if you have something that you were not comfortable talking in front of other people,